So when I started to think about how I would structure a daily routine, the one idea that came to me first of all is going back to the concept of living one day at a time. And if I'm going to live one day at a time doing roughly the same things every day, then obviously the next issue is I want to live life to the fullest every day. So everything that is meaningful to me in life, I want to be able to incorporate it in the day. And I started out by thinking, what a challenging quest that is. Is it even possible? And the more I thought about it, the more I find not only is it possible, it's actually the only way to go. It takes a long time to be able to know what you're going to do when, and also structure the activities so that I, for example, don't spend too much time commuting in between, or that I'm mentally set from one thing to the next. Like if, for example, I'm going to do a meditation or a yoga class, I may want to do that after my spiritual meeting. Or if I'm going to be doing working, I want to do it after time, maybe when I was active and kind of involved with people, so I have this energy kind of at the peak where I want to be. So I started to plan my day. And I will tell you that it's not an easy exercise, because we are creatures of habit, and it's very hard to break those habits. So how I started out was to just have some solid points of pivots in my day. And we talked in higher about that the most important thing is to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself physically and spiritually and so on. So physically, what do I need to do? I need to eat, to sleep well. That's really important. One of the most fundamental important things that people miss. They're always not sleeping enough and always tiring their body and taxing it for no reason. So we talked about sleep. And it's very important to try to do it at the same time, going to bed and getting up in the morning. Now, you cannot do that all the time, but surely you can start thinking about your life. And the more you think about it, the more you find a specific time spot that's ideally suited for that. So I started with that. I started by pinning, okay, this is the time I'm going to go to sleep. I know how much time I need before I go to sleep. I know how much time I need after, but that's going to be roughly the period of time. And I worked with it until I set that in. And then my next area that I set it on was my spiritual meeting that I like to have for me at this stage of my life was at noon of every day. So that became another, let's say, point that was fixed. And I just started with those two things. And as I did that, I found that in the morning I had a really nice period of time between 9:30 and 11:30 that I could do my writing in, for example. So that became the next thing that I put into my daily routine. Then I started thinking about all the other things that I want to do. I want to enjoy food. I want to be connected with family. I want to be with friends. I want to be able to walk. I want to hear the most beautiful music. I want to see entertainment. I want to work. I want to do all of these things. And I started to structure as to where they could possibly go in the day. And over time, I started to add one thing after the other. The thing that amazed me is you can actually have everything that you could ever want out of life in a day. You're being active is very important, so you want to sprinkle your day with just moving around, because we're used to running and hunting and running for our lives. And if we take up elevators and escalators and drive everywhere, that's where become unhealthy and all these diseases come up. And then from a spiritual standpoint, you put in your interaction with people, at least a couple of very significant activities, whether it is a special interest group, if you want to go for photography or nature walks, bird watching, or any other discussion or seminar or group or gathering and so on. So what you end up doing is you're having all of these things that are very meaningful that add to your meaning of life, all done within the day. And you'd be amazed how much time that you waste that could otherwise add fulfillment to your life.